A Machiavelli protection.
What's Gucci, my ninjas? Lil Chad and Slender Dad vibing, that's no cap, no top. Friday night screen, bright fame falls in our lap. Culture seat, no retreat from the trap. YouTube grind, minds align, so we adapt. Brahma Bull laughing loud, bourbon on the rocks. Scheming as masterminds, comedy unlocks. Mad Chismo, chill as ice, won't budge. YouTube legend, verdict clear, sharp as a judge. At that, bumbleclot. Ascending crew calls, join stack those racks. Laugh smack, dumb fades, don't compare to facts. Popcorn pops, hot, settle down, brew slow. Prime time screens live, we strike, we glow. Crew lights the fuse, blazing wild, no wait. Voices roar loud, screens alive, start the fades. Grind sharp and shine, builds claim straight weight. Rise fast, fierce laughter, high can't break. Vision peaks high, no mask, full scene snap. Slender Dad's laugh lands, dice roll, click clap. Tat dat, bumbleclot. Mad Chismo weaves word stories seamlessly spun. Lil Chad embodies essence, hearts uniquely one. Digital dance, vibrant beats they captivate. Creating waves, rising up, destiny awaits. Brahma Bull, wisdom's flow, strides with intent. Little Chad's keen eye, never a moment spent. Mad Chismo ignites, his words a blazing show. Little Chad cinema sees, ready for the glow. Slender Dad's sharp mind cuts through status quo. Chad alive, moments fly, embrace that flow. Each story unfolds, vibrant untold. Cultural banquet streaming bold. Oh, interior bomb.
Boom, clot.
It's right at the beginning of the song, too.
Well,
oh man, after what you told me about that particular term, I'm hoping YouTube's algorithms don't grab it.
Well, there's two different equivalent like words. It's either douchebag, but some say motherfucker. It's mostly just like boom, clot. You know.
Okay.
You're good.
So it's like a.
Well, they're gonna think that you're
like a curse.
Black.
That's not a curse.
Yeah,
that's true. Which gives me a whole bunch of leeway.
Yes. What do you think, Imp?
It's all right.
Cool. Thanks, bro.
That's about as strong an endorsement as you might get from Imp.
I made a metal version for Imp, but then I realized it wasn't emo enough, so I'm gonna have to redo it.
More Black Parade.
Yeah. Anyway, hi.
Yes, first it's brap, and now it's boombaclat.
Yep.
This is how Mad works. He finds something that he likes.
Yep.
Then he latches onto it.
Yep. And then I'll move on.
Yeah, you Elvira it. You pet it and you love it and you stroke it until it dies. Then you find a new pet.
Yep. I figured out how to do an Australian accent. The prompt is oi.
Yeah.
Just oi. Everything's with an Australian accent. That may be my next thing. Who knows?
I don't know what this emo JD Vance is hilarious. What's emo JD Vance?
Did JD Vance have like an emo phase?
Did he?
I don't know.
Boy, now research must be done on the fly.
I love how Trump is using him like as he's like, JD, come tell these guys what's up. Lay it down for them. And he just comes in and just starts talking shit like to the UK guy, to the prime minister or whatever.
Right.
And JD just comes up like, yeah, no, we're friends or whatever, but they're free speech shit. That's BS because it's messing with our people. Oh my God, I can't believe he said that. Oh, JD, you're out of control. Some say
there's no way this is real. No, I don't believe it. Hold on. I'm trying to.
Some say JD may be wait, what is it? A juggalo. I don't know what that is. Some say he's the greatest juggalo that ever lived. That's what they say. It's not a phase, Trump. It's who I am. Oh, that's great. We're gonna have our first juggalo president.
Where is it? There it is.
I hope he gets sworn in his jinkos.
With a bottle of Fago.
There's
Oh,
no freaking
no,
way.
that's not real. So what this is when he was during the debate, it looked like he had a lot of eyeliner on. Just because
yeah. Okay. So
his
they
eyelashes are very dark, so they kind of
they took it to the next level. Now you've got to get this JD Vance in an AI generated music video where he's singing Black Parade in a graveyard.
Exactly.
And you need to use his AI voice to do it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, because that one dude, that dude, I couldn't listen to. I would cut out all the audio. I'd got that downloaded somewhere.
The one with the guy screaming, "Welcome to the Black Parade,"
while his girlfriend films him.
He has
sorry, not girlfriend, his friend.
Yeah, dude, you can't sing.
That wasn't the point. It was about him expressing his feelings.
Yeah, well, express them a little quieter. So sad week for entertainment. We lost two.
Yeah,
one a little more major than the other, but both very sad. With
one, I'm still waiting to hear. What? Like I'm waiting to find out what happened.
You don't want to meet your heroes, Matt.
I just don't. This is gonna sound bad, but I don't want it to be I don't want to get Benoit again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I doubt it has anything like that. Yeah.
I mean,
but I'm still.
Gene Hackman was 95 years old, and she was only 65. She could probably take him in a fight.
Yeah, it's just such a weird thing. You know what I mean?
I actually read an article about it earlier today, where there was a little bit more information came to light. Apparently, they've ruled out carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yes.
But they basically found her body in the bathroom with pills that were his pills all scattered across the sink.
Right.
So, I mean, this is all just like, this is speculation, right?
Yeah.
But a 65-year-old woman is not young by any means, and a 95-year-old man is probably barely able to take care of himself. From what we know, she was basically taking care of him, right? Mm-hmm. Which is very stressful for a spouse. And at 65, she might not have had the greatest health either. Maybe she keeled over. Maybe she had a heart attack. The stress got to her while she was getting his pills ready, and she fell out. And then he found the body later, and he fell out just from seeing it, you know? Like
yeah,
it's so hard to say, though.
Yeah, that's what I've heard a couple of people say, that basically she died, he finally finds her, and then trying to respond to her, he falls, hits his head, has a heart attack or whatever, and then the dog is just like, well, I guess I'll go too.
I mean, if the bodies had been like in rather advanced stages of decay to the point that they were drying out and mummifying,
hers was,
though. I don't starve to death.
Yeah, the other two were fine. Not fine. But I think that her body was more decayed than his, though, right?
Her body was decayed, but they were both entering mummification. So they had both been dead for probably at least a week.
Yeah. It's sad, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he did live a long and vibrant life, but still to go out like that, ugh.
I mean, it sucks to go out like that, especially since, you know, he's a fellow service member.
Yeah.
But 95 it's a good run.
Yeah, that's no
a matter how you slice it, that's a pretty good run.
Yeah. I mean, 95 and you haven't had cancer? Cancer hasn't taken you?
Right? You haven't yet fought cancer to a draw?
Yeah, right? Like, big ups, man. That's crazy. But
Because cancer looks at very few people and goes, I don't want none of that.
right.
You gotta be some kind of badass for cancer to not bother with you.
Like a Chuck Norris level of like the cells of Chuck Norris. You have little cowboy hats on all of your
Every
blood
time the
cells and
cancer
stuff.
tries to get in, it gets roundhouse kicked right back out.
Yep. That seems the most scientific way of explaining it.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what happened with the dog, but then again, over in Japan, there's the statue to the dog whose owner died, and it just kept waiting for him at the
Yeah.
train station until it starved to death.
Yeah. It's not a cat. A cat would have, if you take too long of a nap,
That's gonna eat your fucking face.
yeah, if you take too long of a nap, it's gonna start nibbling, gets to see.
Yep, it's gonna be like, oh, well, how the tables have turned.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything that can stop me now.
My human slave hasn't moved for 30 minutes. I'll start taking nips. Little
Yep. It's the least I can do to honor his passing. He was a good servant. And now he will be in the litter box.
will be the litter box. That's great. Not for him. Not for the person being eaten.
Yeah, that I could see that being the other one. So he passed and she couldn't handle it.
Yeah, but he wasn't as decayed as her though, right? Like I feel
That
like everybody's
is-
on board with that she was the first to go.
The evidence seems to point to she had probably been dead for longer than him.
Yeah.
Like I said, my theory is maybe because we don't know enough, but like maybe she was getting his pills for tomorrow ready, and the stress of it just got to her, and she fell out, but he was already like asleep, and maybe he found her the next day.
For all we know, she could have had health problems too.
Well,
I mean,
95, he
we really
better.
just don't know.
No, her, not him.
Oh,
she was
at
only
65, she better.
I mean, probably at the very least, she's getting on in years.
True.
Soul, no, I did not see that video. No,
What
I
video?
did not want to see that video. That shit is gross. Literally,
Wait, it shows a video of some chick using a litter box, and then she's like, friends, do it as well.
She cleans it once a month.
What? You don't do that
I
for
could-
cats.
I could drop a deuce that needed to be cleaned immediately in a litter box.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think everyone who takes a crap in a litter box is going to need to be cleaned out immediately.
I mean, human-sized crap is probably much larger than cat-sized crap. If I had to guess. I don't pay very close attention to that sort of thing.
I feel like you're on the right track with it, at least.
Yeah,
it's a
the
safe
Buffy
assumption.
actress, her death is more sad in my opinion.
Agreed. She was younger than me. Not by
Yeah,
much.
she was
couple
39. She had an autoimmune issue she's been battling for quite some time,
Yeah.
and she needed a new liver. They gave her a liver transplant, and her body rejected it, which means the liver shut down. Toxins started to build up very quickly in her system, and caused other organs to start failing. She went septic. Like,
Oof.
if you go septic, you've got less than a 10% chance to survive. It is very low odds if your system goes septic. So that's pretty sad.
Yeah. And she was the first chick I remember, like, oh, she's cool. Like, you know what I mean? From Pete and Pete to Euro Trip. Like, she was a dude chick, but still was a chick. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like a tomboy almost?
Yeah,
One of the guys?
almost, but like it's somebody you could hang out with
Yeah.
and not be like, oh my God, if she says one more thing about shoes, I'm going to lose my shit.
Yeah. I don't give a shit about nail polish. I don't give a shit about your shoes. I don't know why you have 70 pair. Like, I get past 5 and I'm like, I might have too many pairs of shoes.
Right.
You know, I got my work shoes, I got my running shoes, I got my hiking shoes,
My slippers.
I got like my steel toes so that I can do like real work because my work shoes are actually more like dress shoes because, you know, business. That's about it. Like, not much beyond that.
Yeah, I never got into the Nike, like, you know what I mean? Having all the different pairs of Nikes for different whatever.
Nah, I got more into Vans than Nikes because I was, you know,
Yeah.
skateboarding as a result of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
I that didn't happen with me, but yeah, I understand what you mean.
Yep.
Never
Yeah, Eric
never been on a
Myers
skateboard.
nailed it. A dude's chick equals a feminine tomboy.
Okay, yeah. That's exactly it.
Oh, I feel like I have to put Awesome One in timeout. I'm not
What?
appreciating this nonsense. I put a lot of work into Ascendant Gaming, which is actually Ascendant Arcade.
Yeah, you didn't even get the name right. I agree. Ascendant Art is better than whatever Ascendant Gaming Boo is.
Gaming Boo.
Never heard of it.
Josh Hammond only has one pair of shoes for everything. Slender, Mads, and probably Imp. The
Oh yeah, I
equivalent
got different dress
for
shoes though
men
for
is
suits.
guns. Every pair of shoes the wife gets, the man gets a new gun.
Though that doesn't feel like it's an equal. Guns can
Now,
be
the
a little
unfortunate fact
expensive.
of the matter is, yeah, even your low end, you're probably spending a lot more on one gun than
Yeah,
one pair of shoes.
more than likely, yeah. Where's
Oh,
Brahma?
oh, I mean, Eric, the Vans are real comfortable too, regardless of whether or not you skateboard with them. Like, they're a good skateboarding shoe, but they are very comfortable either way, and they're durable. They can take a beating, which a lot of shoes these days can't.
Yeah, that's true. They don't make them like they used to, right? Back in
They don't
my
make much
day,
anything like they used to.
I had oh man, I remember I got Shaquille O'Neal's shoes, the Hypnotic or whatever they wore with the black like stripes.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the ones I'm talking about?
I think so.
They're Reebok and they had like it was like half moon, half whatever it is. And they just go
Mhm.
up. Fucking I remember feeling like such a pimp when I got those. I was like in like 6th grade.
I mean, you probably looked like one. For a while there, Reebok was all about the really loud shoes.
Yeah, they were pretty loud. They were
Like,
awesome.
I'd see guys in you know, at a PT in the military, and it's like, oh, there you are wearing your navy blue hoodie, you know, your navy blue sweats, and your lime green glowing fucking
What,
shoes.
you could have those? I'm pretty sure that we had to have a specific color. And I think they issued tennis shoes to us. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, but we always saw people who would fucking wear their own shit because eventually, you know, when you get out of boot camp and A school and
Yeah.
everything else, and you're out in the real fleet, you could kind of just wear whatever you want. Like,
Yeah, I
as
don't
long
think
as it's not
exactly how you
inappropriate.
described them. There's no way we would have got away with lime green shoes like that in
Dude, I
PT.
saw guys who were wearing like the lime green shoes that looked like they weren't even made out of any kind of shoe material. It was some kind of space age shit. You could see your reflection in their lime green shoe, and it's like, what, what, why did shoes become this?
Bro, I got in trouble one morning because my beanie wasn't black. It was a dark green that you couldn't even tell wasn't black until the sun came out.
Yeah,
And they were like, "Oh, you almost got away with it." I'm like, "What the fuck? What is at the end?"
got away with what? I'm wearing a fucking beanie.
Yeah, but it's not black. You didn't know until Yeah.
Yeah, some of the regulations are stupid, but
Oh,
with what I've seen
absolutely.
them do to the military over the last 5 years, I think some of the regulations, I want them back.
Yeah,
I want them to be enforced again.
again, it comes back to, your this current generation or whatever is walking through a field and they're like, what's this fence doing here? Let's rip it down without even pausing
Yeah.
for a moment to think maybe there was a reason why it was built. But
Dude, the one that bugs me the most, and we're getting way off track here, but I'm gonna go with it because we got to fill 2 hours tonight.
Yep.
The one that gets me the most is women with their nail polish in the United States military. And now I'm not gonna say it's a certain kind of woman, but it's a certain kind of woman. It's like, per the instructions, nail polish is allowable as long as its color is understated and complements the user's natural skin tone. Unless you are a Martian, lime green does not complement your natural skin tone,
man, why you hating
nor
on
does
people?
neon orange.
Why you
I have
hating on
seen
people's drip? But
because it's not in regs, man.
look, I never really saw that, never really had a problem with it because I was combat arms. We had no women.
Yeah, well, lucky you.
Wasn't gay. Be quiet over there.
This is why Mad loves his bros a little too much.
It's what I'm used to. It's like the Spartans. They had to force them to be with women. They were so gay. That's how gay Spartans were. That for them not to all die off and have no one to continue their lineage or whatever, they had to force them to have sex with girls. And they're like, do I have to? It's gross. That's our order.
What?
That's a real thing.
Okay.
Because they would raise them right together as bros. They would get so attached to each other that when they got to the age where now they're being forced to be with women, they found it gross because they're gross. It's a real thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
I take it you're on board.
What, with the women stuff?
With the
Ugh.
finding them gross.
Oh, yeah, with the bros? Yeah, I'm on board.
I think Soul's with you on this one.
Sounds like paradise, right? Spartans aren't gay. Mad, stop rewriting history. I never said they were gay. And it's not rewriting history. I'm pretty sure you can look that shit up.
Spartans were encouraged to do bro relationships, but marriage was only for dudes and ladies. and that's why Matt is gay. That's not gay. He's just seizing history. Sometimes you got to seize the reins of history to dictate the future.
If my love of bros makes me gay, then I guess I'm gay. Right? Is that how that works?
We're just going to let that one hang.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on.
It's true, though. See?
It's a thing. I mean, you love your bros, but you don't go past tummy swords, okay? Tummy swords is not okay.
Tummy swords? Wait,
no tummy swords.
Tummy swords is okay or
it's not okay?
Not okay.
Like as soon as the concept of tummy swords comes out, you've hit the event horizon. There's no going back from tummy swords.
Yeah, I agree with Bill Ingval here, right? Like, personally, I'm a fan of my own, but I don't like other men's penis. I know I said people's. I didn't want to be that politically correct, but like if it wasn't for the penis, bros would be the best people to be with, other than my girlfriend who I love very much, who's right over there.
But she's like a bro to you.
Yeah, she's a penisless bro.
But one day you're gonna get that fixed.
I don't think she liked that description.
Kind of gave you a bit of a look, huh?
She went to
no, I don't want you to have a penis. I guess that I'm not a fan of them. She's gonna be on Tuesday night, by the way, for
oh yeah,
talking to ghost talking.
Good. I have missed having Shredder.
She I was telling her about what we're gonna do, and she goes, "Oh no, Ouija boards are evil. We did it one night, and it was saying all kinds of things. It said eat pussy." I was like, "Stop right there. Save all of this for the stream." That's all I needed to hear. Was
Don't even tell me anymore.
nothing
I
else,
want an authentic reaction.
right? You said it did. This is why you're supposed to be in the other room.
Everyone is
You-
surprised Matt has a girlfriend.
You said you weren't gonna heckle me.
I still don't necessarily know if I believe it. Like, because I've thought about it, I'm like, Matt's pretty good with the AI stuff, so he may have just made a couple of catchphrases for her that he plays at a
couple
really low volume,
catchphrases.
so it sounds like it's far away. And then occasionally he'll run a script through her and just pause and unpause as we go through our streams to make it seem like she's participating. I mean, like another great example, when he first came in here, he was labeled as not mad, and I was like, The imp was like, jump, and he didn't jump, so we assumed he was infected.
I also find it very, very funny that the whole jump thing is kind of gone universal in Nuclear Nightmare for us.
Soul looked it up.
I had to look it up. Swords. The hell wrong? Whatever happened in the ocean stays. Wait, what?
He looked up tummy swords.
I don't know what tummy swords is.
Oh, well, I'm not going to explain it to you.
I didn't work at Fort Knox. I did OSIT there. I was there long enough to retire, though. I got the Fort Knox in July, and because they brought in too many fucking recruits or whatever, they didn't have enough slots in the next cycle, so we had to wait for an entire cycle to finish before we could actually start. So we were all like 100 of us stuck in reception before we ever started, and I did not leave Fort Knox until December. I was there from July to December.
Dude, we had a weird thing like that because when I went into the military, Navy specifically, right, they were very low on electronics technicians. So obviously the recruiter steered me toward that. Even though I told him I wanted to do computer like IT stuff, he was like, "Yeah, electronics technicians do that." No, they don't. Fucking lied. But they had pushed so many into the program that they didn't have enough space for all the classes in the
Yeah.
buildings. So next to the buildings in the parking lot were a bunch of trailers. And you went through the first part, the technical core, where you just got basic electronic training in big metal trailers. And then you got to go into the building once you finished the first part of the training.
I mean,
So yeah, 6 months in the trailers.
at least you had trailers. We were stuck in reception. I remember, yeah, my when I was at MEPS.
I mean, they kept us going through the program, so that's a little bit better than what you had going, where you just gotta
Yeah.
wait. But
Yeah. When I was at MEPS, I did pretty good. Like, I had a whole list of jobs. I could have done better, but when I was taking the ASVAB or whatever, it was so cold in there, and this is legit. My nipples hurt. So I would rush through a section of the test so I could run to the restroom just to like rub my nipples because it was so cold and they hurt so much. But anyway, so I'm
I
there.
think your nipples hurt because you saw so many other guys without clothes on.
I was gay then.
You might want to talk to somebody about that.
So anyway, so when I was doing MEPS or whatever, and we were going over all the jobs, right? There was this one, it was like Cavalry Scout. I'm like, oh, what's that? He goes, you know what? I got a video for you. And he shows me this video, right? And it's dudes in doom buggies, they're on dirt bikes, and there was this one part where it was a tree line, right? I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen? He's like, just wait. And they all pop out the fucking tree line with their guns and shit. I'm like, sign me up for that shit. Do you know how many doom buggies I was in?
0.
Do you know how many dirt bikes I was on?
0.
Also 0.
You know how many times I popped out the wood line? Once it was
Never.
at Fort Hood, and everybody stared at me like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I saw it in the video. I'm doing something."
I'm getting my money's worth, damn it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get
No,
the
we
T-shirt
we
either.
all get lied to in recruiters. Like the recruiters are they're there to fill specific quotas,
Yeah.
and they're gonna tell you whatever you need to hear to fill that quota. They don't give a shit what you want to do.
Oh,
They
dude,
give a shit who they're told to put where.
yep. They're like, oh, we're gonna get you a great shirt. You've never seen a shirt like this. Some say it's the greatest shirt ever. I'm starting to realize Donald Trump may be my recruiter.
It sounds like Donald Trump might have been your recruiter.
Man, yeah, dude, I remember when we went to MEPS, right? The dude that was with me was too fat, so the dude had to wrap him in Saran wrap and put like some kind of gel on him, so like to help sweat out his to lose weight so he could make it or whatever. And he had to get him something to cleanse his system because he was smoking weed like a week earlier.
Dude, we had so many people in MEPS who were like, are they doing a piss test? Like,
Yeah.
I was told I'd get a waiver.
Oh yeah.
You're not getting a fucking waiver, dude.
I don't have much room.
They told you to stop smoking for a reason.
And I did. Like, again, I got high. I worked at a timeshare resort. I worked nice. And me and the security guard and I, we would watch like Judge Mathis, Judge Joe Brown. And there was an Army commercial came on. I was like, call 1-800-GO-ARMY and get a free t-shirt. I'm like, fuck, bro, I want a free t-shirt. And I called. Never got the shirt. But anyway. But the point is, I stopped
But
smoking.
still got recruited.
Yeah. Yeah, this was 04, bro. They were taking everybody. They didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? They were like, oh, felonies, waive. Neck tattoos, waived.
We're fighting a global war on terror. We need everybody we can get.
What? No, they're not professional. That's what's wrong with neck tattoos. I know you have one. I'm very professional. I'm professionally whooped that ass. Keep putting shit over there.
Okay, I'm curious about these comments at this point. I remember a friend was told by his Navy recruiter to be honest to the doctors, said he was told he had ADHD and got blacklisted, and recruiter dropped him.
Really? Why do they just give him Adderall?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, according to doctors, supposedly I have ADHD. And
bro,
I just didn't tell them about it when I went to MEPS.
Have you gone back and be like, oh, I think I need Adderall now?
No, because I'm a grown ass man who can fucking figure it out.
No. I'm not saying for you to take them. I'm saying for you to get them.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to do that.
We'll solve the rest of that later.
My SAT was in a glass-walled multi-purpose room surrounded by the staging and practice areas for the all-star cheerleading regionals. I didn't do very well, nor did a lot of others, I heard. That seems like a terrible place to do an SAT. I did not take the SAT. I did, however, take the ACT.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I have like really narrow sinus walls. So sitting in a very dry room like that with my head tilted forward for a long period of time never works out in my favor. And I ended up failing the first ACT I took because I bled all over it.
Oh my God.
Because like if my head is tilted forward and I'm in a dry room sitting that way for a long time, my nose will start to bleed. And so I'm sniffing. Then the next thing I know, a red drop of blood hits directly on the frickin', the Scantron form.
Oh, man.
And then I put my hand up there and I try to wipe it away. Then I put my hand back down at the top of the paper. I'm like, oh, no.
That's crazy.
And they were like, you're going to have to retake it. We can't put this through the machine. It's like, son of a bitch.
I had a guy, every time the dude that thought he was he didn't think he was claiming himself the devil. Anyway, I go to back up another dude. He has a possible DWI. Is Goody, right? He looked like a Hispanic Mr. Miyagi. If you can picture that, right? And I get there. Yeah. Just like, hey, I'm Mr. Miyagi. Just do that and got it. Anyway, so I get there and he's doing pre-exit, right? And he's trying to do the finger dexterity. He's like, okay, when I tell you, the beginning, and the dude legit goes, you need to get me out of this car before I do something I regret. So immediately I'm like, cool. And I go to grab him. And Goody's like, no, hold on. Try this one, right? And the guy refused. And then Goody's like, okay, get out of the car. And he goes, I'm not getting out of the car. And I just looked at Goody like, see, motherfucker, we had a chance to take him out, but you wanted to play bullshit games. Now we're dragging him out. We're fighting him. And this other dude, Catalino, gets there and he's a pussy. He came to us from what is it called? Community police, right? Where you're just going around the neighborhood like, hi, I'm your local police officer. Is there anything I could do to help make your life better? You know
Is
that
like
guy?
mall cops, but for small neighborhoods.
Yeah. Not even small neighborhoods. They just that's all they do though. They're community relations. And now he's working nights in a major city. You know what I mean? Like this shit ain't for you, bro. You're not built for this. And so we're fucking fighting this guy, trying to get him in handcuffs. And this dude, Cat, man, he tried to put him use some pressure point that he learned in police hand to hand. And the dude looks up at him and goes, "Your pressure points won't work on me, bitch." I was like, punch him in the face, Cat. That works every time. Anyway, put him in the car. We're about to go read him the implied consent for the DWI bullshit, right? And Cat's over there reading it up. And it was a night where I thought it was going to be cold. So I have thermals on and a beanie. I'm just sweating. By the way, the smell on this guy was horrible. Anyway, so I look over and I see the whole car rocking back and forth, and Cat just like, and I go and open the door, and the dude looks like Stone Cold from his Bret Hart match. His blood is just pouring down his face. He split it on one of the bars on the cage, and he's just spraying blood everywhere, going, I'm the devil, I'm the devil. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. We drag him out. We get him on the ground, and then he starts slamming his head against the ground. So we literally have to hold every bit of him. The medics show up. They're going to give him some kind of shot or whatever to calm him the fuck down. And the paramedic, Big Mike, broke the capsule and it sprayed on Cat. And Cat starts freaking out like, oh my God, does it absorb through the skin? I'm like, you're not built for this, bro. Take him to the hospital. Again, the stink on this dude, it sticks to you. It moves to you if you touch him, right? I go in a hospital and this nurse looks at me as if I'm some gross old poor person. It was like, ugh. And I was like, it's not me, it's him. Wait until you go in. And she's like, sure. Goes in, comes right back out and apologizes. She's like, I'm so sorry. I had no idea it is him. Anyway. So he had to get x-rays done because of his head and shit. And he calls the x-ray tech the N-word. The x-ray tech starts choking him out on the bed. I had to go in there and grab him and drag him off of him. Get him back to the station. And I had some paperwork I needed them, so I gave him the paperwork. The dude wrapped it around his foot because his foot was cold. I was like, bro, I'm going to need that back. I need you to sign it. So he took blood from his head and tried to sign it in blood. That's how I got there, was because of your bloody nose.
And this is why we need to bring back the asylums.
Oh, yeah. There's more to it too, but yeah, whatever. It's a whole thing.
I got mildly distracted because Bojan's given all sorts of Bojan lore in the.
Wonder what he's doing now. He's probably dead.
And, that was more information, more lore than I think we needed.
Wow. Okay. That is something. This is not Denmark? Oh, Denmark, yeah. Like Monkey Steals the Peach. Babe, you know what Monkey Steals the Peach is? Is when you grab a dude's testicles, you rip them off, and then you shake them on top of them. Everyone knows this. Sorry.
I
for
thought
her.
that was Angry Monkey Crushes Sour Grapes.
No, it was Monkey Shakes to Peach. I apologize. He's not even supposed to be in here, but
What?
That's what Sun Wukong did in the Journey to the West or East or something. So apparently I'm completely confused.
What? Sun Wukong ripped someone's balls off and smashed him on his face? He stole a peach? Did Sun Wukong steal a peach?
did he?
Peach of
Huh?
Immortality.
Eric, yeah, the
Wait,
Hispanic
what?
Mr. What?
Tell us the story of Sun Wukong stealing the peach of immortality. I want to hear this.
Yeah, go read a book.
Just any book, and they all cover it.
You are the
Yeah.
worst co-host ever, Imp.
He literally just said, "Oh, you want to hear this specific story? Go read a book. Any of them doesn't
I
matter."
didn't say anything about hearing the
Putting
story.
you back at the bottom. I ask you to tell me a story. You're like, go read a book. Yeah, because reading a book keeps the audience engaged. How do
I
you
mean,
know
there
how to
are
do
some
this?
channels that do that.
Shut up. We're not that channel.
Where's Brahma?
I don't know. He was in chat calling you gay earlier, but he never
No,
showed
that couldn't
up.
have been him.
Oh, that wasn't him.
Well, we can madfap. I always have my list of madfappable videos.
You're not saving him for your own channel?
I got so many. Let me see. Where's it at? Potential madfapping? Because there's a few that I've been wanting to do for a long time.
So you're looking for something. And
How
I'm
about-
looking for something.
Here we go. This should be something that you would be interested in. Madfapping?
I'm not seeing anything.
Because I haven't shared it yet.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
All right, ready?
Sure.
This is from Maggie Mayfish. It is Robocop, a trans icon, and other observations.
Are you serious?
It seemed like just a lot of cocaine and hair. But then I saw RoboCop and I saw something more through that hair. I saw an incredible film.
Not wrong. It is an incredible film. I rewatched it not that long ago. It's fantastic and holds up. Yes, man, I agree. I'm Imp. Thanks, Imp.
We've all heard about its
Well, no, I do agree that
anti-corporate
RoboCop didn't-
message and its
Then fucking
ultra
say it.
violence. But let's dig deeper. Put on our film school hats and ask how the
Everybody else have their film school hats?
I mean, is it a fedora?
Of course. No, it's a beret, a raspberry beret.
Oh, berets were pretty good for film school. Yeah. If you're in some kind of drama or film, that makes sense.
Yep.
visual grammar, editing, and pacing function.
Wait, did I say visual grammar? What does
I
that
don't know.
sound like?
I missed it.
Yeah, right there.
And ask how the visual grammar.
Ask how the
Oh, this dumb director and his visuals, he ended it with that with a what is it? A preposition. How dare you end that scene with a preposition? You fuck.
Dude,
Visual
grammatically,
grammar,
that scene
editing,
was
and
possessive,
pacing.
and you never put the visual apostrophe in there.
Yeah. Oh, they used the wrong there in this scene.
function in RoboCop. Now here's a list of things I like about RoboCop. The visual match between Officer Lewis and Murphy.
What does that even mean?
From the first
Why,
moment that
because
we
they
meet
were both-
Officer Lewis,
Cops? They both
I don't-
both had
like,
light
what-
hair?
They both wore the uniform of the police. Like, yeah, no shit, they visually matched.
she is a visual and symbolic match for Murphy.
How? What?
Their
In what
hair,
way?
Their complexion, their
Oh my god. I said that as a bit about their hair.
Almost as though when you are serving in the police, there is a regulation that must be adhered to as relates to your hair.
Well, not their
Mad slowly
complexion
morphing
though.
into Madradamus.
By the way,
They're both white people. Everybody was white in the movies back then. Remember, we didn't allow anyone
True,
else to perform
true.
in movies
Ignore
until
the
at least 2015.
ignore their police chief or captain who's gonna be in this movie as well. Ignore what he is. But their build was not
their
the
build,
same.
and especially their attitude.
Their attitude wasn't the same either. What movie did she watch?
They're equals. Murphy and Lewis are two peas in a pod. Fast forward to the scene where RoboCop starts questioning his past and Lewis confronts him, we see this shot. Lewis looks directly into the camera, directly into RoboCop's visor, as she says,
Murphy, it's you.
because Murphy's looking
What?
That was some good acting.
directly at Lewis, who is a visual match for him as she fills the frame, she functions as a mirror.
Oh my God. This is already bananas. She functions as a mirror to him.
Dude, even the most out there fucking hipster film junkies would listen to what you just said and be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Right? Because it's based on a unprovable premise of they were a visual like match. Like they were the same in every way. They weren't at all.
She doesn't function as a mirror. She functions as what's standing in front of the camera that is RoboCop.
She is the it to which Murphy is.
No, that's not true. The whole thing about the RoboCop thing is that it's him coming to realize that he is more than just a robot, right? He is Murphy. So the it with which Murphy is identifying is Murphy, not someone else.
I get her logic. It's this stupid, right? They were both similar professions. They wore the same clothes. And since he is a man and she's wearing the same clothes that he's wearing, he's wearing girls' clothes. Ergo, trans.
is identifying. This is a key moment in Murphy's quest to regain his humanity, empathy, and identity.
Well, no, because if she is the it in which they were referring, then it wouldn't be him regaining his humanity, empathy, or identity. It would be gaining her identity.
It's incredibly rare for a male action
I got yelled
hero.
at. I needed to let Brahma in because he snuck in when we weren't paying attention.
It's been like 5 minutes.
Well, we've been watching a fucking video.
Yeah. You need a producer.
Well,
I usually have one, but
you have any thoughts so far on the video?
Yeah. The next video that they've got down there in the lower right, why Americans hate each other now. Her commentary is why Americans hate each other now.
That's from Wisecrack.
Okay.
Brahma doesn't have to be funny, Mad.
Yeah, I know. He was just
in
being,
my contract.
He was being literal.
Female counterpart, especially because she's acting as a mirror for Murphy.
No.
And not.
Wait, those aren't the two options. It is not either she is a mirror for Murphy or he is fetishizing her.
I will tell you right now, she is a lot closer to one than the other, and I think you picked the wrong one.
A fetish object. And does the
because
fact that his mirror,
especially back in the 80s, the short pixie cut style hair, right?
Yeah.
Like, incredibly stupidly popular, even though it was kind of weird looking.
Yep.
And the tomboy girls were, I mean, they basically could run the school. Honestly, like a lot of guys gravitated toward the tomboy girl. The girl that hung out with the guys, would do the things the guys like to do.
Yeah, because they were more likely to have a penis than the other girls.
Than the other girls.
That's why Mad liked him so much, huh? He's like,
damn it, another one without a peen. Throw it back.
Boiled
Gotta go
again.
fishing for another.
On to the next.
By the way, does the fact that his mirror image is a woman mean that RoboCop is a trans icon? One, it's not a fact. Just because you say the word fact doesn't make it
her
one.
image as a woman mean RoboCop is a trans icon? Not necessarily, but it's a reading opened up by the sequence of shots.
What sequence of shots?
No, it's not.
Hold on. Maybe we're wrong. Let's see the sequence of shots.
But in any case,
it is a reading opened up by her stupid fucking mouth, and I'd rather it close again and stayed that way.
Unfortunately, I have to press play.
it's a miracle in itself to see a male action hero identifying with a female peer.
When
It is a
does he
miracle
do
because
that?
it would not have happened. This was 20 years before anybody even was pretending to be trans.
The boardroom long shot. Special effects and cyberpunk are cool, but this seemingly simple, single, long take, which clocks in at just under a minute, ties the film's theme
So we're gonna use long take very loosely.
Just
Themes
under a
together
minute
in-
doesn't seem like a long take for me. But I guess back when movies were generally 90 minutes or less, it would be a larger percentage of the
No,
final
but even-
product.
Even then, I, if I'm not mistaken, I think shots were longer in general compared to the Michael Bay-isms in the Christopher Nolan era of, like, you know what I mean, 32 shots.
Yeah, you
a
were
second.
using actual film.
Well, yeah,
That has nothing to
exactly.
do with it.
Well, shots cost more. You couldn't do retakes, so like
No,
you,
what I mean
you
by
wanted
shots
to keep
is
the number of scenes down to a minimum.
no. What I'm talking about is the different cuts, right?
Mhm.
So Michael Bay was famous for using multiple cameras. Like on The Rock, Ed Harris had to yell at him. He's because he tells the story. He's like, Michael Bay loves the fucking camera. He's like, stop fucking having all these goddamn cameras. Just let me deliver the monologue. So what I mean is like all the cuts.
one
Like,
dynamic shot. From Bob Morton's overly aggressive, overly loud corporate jockeying,
Don't mess with Jones, man. He'll make sushi out of it.
to Dick Jones describing the friction between OCP and the cops.
Wait, how did that guy get in the movie? I thought they weren't allowed in movies.
Over. You know, the usual nonsense.
To the company's proposed plan for Delta City, which will bring those forces into
what does this have to do with RoboCop being a trans
collision.
icon?
It's the kind of long take
Nothing.
that you don't even notice because it's so seamless and natural. It crams 3 small scenes into one fluid shot. I count about 20 actors hitting complicated marks, delivering
If this person thinks that this was a complicated what
Walking
have
into
so
a room
m-
and sitting down.
my god, this is something that what's that movie by, was it H.G. Wells or no, Alfred Hitchcock, the one where it starts in on the bomb, it zooms out to the guy he's putting the bomb in the car, and then it tracks all one shot a couple as they're walking across this border check. It's an amazing shot. I have to look it up.
fast-paced corporate
So
dialogue.
I'm trying to figure
And
out, like, when is she gonna land this plane? Because nothing about what she has said thus far has gone to trans icon for me. Like nothing.
Well, she's got 19 minutes left to
Something
land the plane.
evil.
Is she about to say that the 3D printed cityscape in the background is phallic, thus trans?
Maybe.
Or the foreground? Sorry, the foreground.
to top it off, we get a sense of the space in the monochromatic, high-tech boardroom. This shot is the beating heart of the film.
What?
Why?
Michael Bay
Oh.
would need 15 different edits, a bunch of fancy graphics, and as many as 3 different crop tops to tie together a scene.
Those are all the same crop top.
Dude,
Your
you
joke didn't
haven't
work.
even
And the
made
same
a-
scene.
You haven't even made a fucking point yet, and you have the ass to run down Michael Bay?
I ran down Michael Bay because I earned that right.
Like this. Corporations can't feel. One weird little tick that this movie has is the way that RoboCop rattles off bizarrely insensitive, out-of-touch advice when confronted with innocent people before he's come to terms with his identity. He tells these kids,
Stay out of trouble.
"Oh,
Wait. Did he said insensitive?
Yeah.
Out of
Insensitive.
touch
To tell
advice.
kids to stay out of trouble.
How
Don't
dare
do
you
crack.
be so insensitive?
Before he's come to terms with his true identity. His identity as a
Before
fucking
he's come to-
robot?
to terms with his identity." He tells these kids,
Stay out of trouble.
So out of
"Oh, great
touch.
advice, robot bro. Way to vaguely threaten children."
Wait,
Or-
what? How?
He didn't say stay out of trouble or
Or
I
I
will
will
shoot
murder
you.
you.
Like he just said stay out of trouble.
Yeah, take a
I
bite
think it
out
was
of crime.
implied.
Say no to drugs.
Dare.
My kids go out the door to school and I'm like, bye, I love you, have a good day, stay out of trouble.
Oh
Don't
my
do anything
God,
He's never
stupid.
once turned around and been like, "Oh my God, Dad,
Yeah.
that's so insensitive."
Slender Mom, Slender Dad is threatening us with violence.
Or the way he interfaces with this woman.
Madam, you have suffered an emotional shock. I will notify a rape crisis center.
Not exactly the emotional support she needed in that scenario.
Police
He's a
officers aren't
fucking
supposed to provide
cyborg.
emotional support.
I'm sorry. What he did was the correct thing. Ma'am, I'm a robot. I am not one that you're going to be able to talk to and get anything beneficial out of. Let me call the professionals who, like, even if I wasn't a RoboCop, ma'am, I'm a cop. I'm not a therapist.
But it's a perfect analog to the way that soulless corporations are simply incapable of mimicking true humanity.
How?
Why
How-
are soulless corporations incapable of mimicking true humanity? Oh, right, because they're not humans. They're fucking a bunch of people who work at a place that has a name that's been written down on a piece of paper. That what the fuck are you talking about? Mimicking humanity?
Not even
All
humanity.
businesses
True.
mimic humanity.
True humanity.
Compare that to how RoboCop speaks when he actually has his mask off.
Murphy had a wife and son. What happened to them?
We see this today in even subtler ways, how fast food companies try to appropriate the language of weird Twitter.
What?
It wasn't
First of all-
when his mask was off. It was when he started remembering his life as Murphy.
Yeah, but that happened because he took his mask off.
Okay, I don't.
So
I
next
don't
time
saw
you
his
see-
face.
Company tweet out a meme, I hope you read it out loud in RoboCop's stiff, goofy voice. Try it at
No.
home with family and friends. Every frame a critique of capitalism? If there's one shot that perfectly portrays the in-story relationship between the average people of Detroit and the people who hold the power in Detroit,
Like this guy who's not a part of the corporation.
it's this one. And it's
Remember when
another
he got his
example of
arm
how
cut off by the helicopter in ER?
Oh, that is the doctor, isn't he? Everybody hated him. And then he was killed by the
then
helicopter.
he gets crushed by a helicopter.
Yeah.
Best two scenes in that whole show.
Oliver Hoven uses complicated film production techniques to get across the movie's complex themes in striking, simple to understand visuals. By using an attachment called
You would think if he was using simple and effective techniques, we wouldn't be having this video on RoboCop as a trans icon.
a split field diopter, the subjects on both the left and the right of frame remain in focus, even though Emil, on the right, is way closer to camera than the gas station attendant on the left. But it's not
I am
just
so
a-
glad she was able to flex that degree that she got in fucking film by talking about a split field Nobody, what the fuck does this have to do with your argument?
Well, when you have such cool
You could have
little,
just said they were both in focus, and there was
Well,
a reason for that.
when you
But
have
it's
a
not
cool,
just a cool trick.
when you have a
Sorry,
cool
go.
like tidbit like that under your beret, you got to whip it out sometimes.
cool trick. It also allows Verhoeven to frame the attendant on the left as small and powerless. He's trapped behind what looks like a cage, imprisoned by his job, encased
No. That's there for his safety.
That's security.
in machinery. An
Nope. Nope. Unwitting agent of capital.
So he wasn't
is
hired. He
forced?
was forced in there.
We're gonna force you into this job, and also we're gonna protect you. Welcome to the machine.
unwitting agent of capital. And on the right, Emil is an imposing figure that takes up more than half of the frame. He's a fascist black shirt, figuratively, and
No, not no. Oh, you no. He's a criminal. I know you don't like how demonizing criminals. He is a criminal.
pretty much literally too, an agent of the same corporate culture that imprisons the gas station attendant.
No, he's not.
He's not part of any corporation.
He's
a criminal.
I mean, you are right that he is the reason that the gas station attendant appears to be
Yes.
imprisoned. But it is not
But-
the corporate culture that has imprisoned the gas
No.
station attendant. It's the criminal culture that has been allowed to run out of control.
He is not metaphorically or figuratively any part of a corporation.
It only lasts a moment, but what a mind-blowing shot.
It's not a mind-blowing
Existential
shot.
question
Yes,
time.
except you somehow thought that the criminal was a part of the corporation, despite the fact that the criminal has nothing to do with the corporation, other than
Oh.
maybe he's the reason the corporation has had so much success.
You
This
took
bitch is about to
exactly the
piss me
wrong
off.
lesson. Yeah. What is a cop, Mad?
What is a cop? A fucking hero. A
Is a cop-
badass. Way more than those firefighters.
Up. I think the movie wants to capture what we hope cops are, what we want cops to be. Morally pure, selfless,
fine.
heroic. And time again, the movie
Huh? No, I don't need a hug.
challenges that hope. We see
I need violence.
ED-209, who represents the complete lack of humanity that cops are capable of. We see it in the
No,
collaboration between
That
but
robots are
pause.
capable of.
Yes, that robots are capable of.
That's not humanity at all.
No, unless you're talking about a mob. Mobs get a little out of hand every once in a while, but like individual humans, rare.
You know, like
Very
my
rare.
granddaddy always said, sometimes a robot is just a robot.
Yeah.
OCP executive Dick Jones and the criminals. Bodeker's gang basically
Wait, hold on. What was the collaboration?
that cops are capable of. We see it in the collaboration between OCP executive Dick Jones and the criminals.
Wait, did they have some type of collaboration?
Yeah, they
They're
did.
sitting on the couch together.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even notice that was him that walked in there.
Bodeker's gang basically acts like a private little SWAT team for Jones, executing his corporate agenda. And those same cops who acted as the voice of reason earlier in the movie,
Well, I'll tell you what we should do. We should strike.
by the end of Act 2, they're lining up to blow RoboCop away. Some of them voice their concerns.
Hey, wait a second!
Wait.
Can we pause?
Yeah.
Too? Like, this is a very common trope that has existed for a long time. It's not that the corporation is evil. It's that in this particular movie, like many, it is an evil corporation. Most corporations weren't like that, which is why we only see the one super successful corporation in this movie.
Yeah. If all corporations were evil, even to a lesser degree than this one, that there wouldn't be any need to use them as a trope, because it's, you know what I mean? Like, I think we would notice if all corporations were equally evil.
Yeah, if they were all evil, then
Right.
then that would be normal, and it wouldn't be
Yeah.
evil anymore.
They'd all be
But-
the villains.
Yes.
Ultimately, they cannot escape their positions as enforcers in an unjust system. So what is a cop? Well, RoboCop is a cop. ED-209 is a cop.
No, definitely not this one. This one's a robot.
Murphy is a cop. These good cops are cops. This asshole cop is a cop.
Why is
the
he an
bad guy
asshole?
gang members are cops.
No. The bad gang
No.
members are not cops
They're mercenaries or a private army, if anything.
at best.
Overall, the film complicates the idea that cops always equal good.
Wait, it overcomplicates it, because that's not a thing. If anyone thinks all cops are equally good, they're idiots. There's plenty of cops that I can't fucking stand. I would refuse to work with because they're pieces of shit.
Because it understands that cops are human, and humans are historically known to abuse power. What's in a name? There's a really interesting back and forth in this movie where we see Murphy's name, we hear Murphy's name,
It's you.
but we also hear RoboCop's name,
There's a new guy in town. His name's RoboCop.
and see RoboCop's name. So is he Murphy, or is
Wait, hold on, bitch. I don't know if, because the way she started, it sounded as though we were talking about from his POV, hearing his name, but then out of nowhere switches to as if RoboCop saw the title card of RoboCop.
he RoboCop? Well, he's both. There's a lot of doubles in this film. Murphy and Lewis.
Okay, again,
No,
remember when she
still
said
no.
how they are built the same physically?
They don't look
Except
built
for
the
that
same to me.
extra foot tall.
Let's just go through the list here. Hair, not the same. Kind of similar color. Complexion, not the same.
Nope.
Build, not the same. Height,
Nope.
not the same.
Breast, not the same. Dick, not the same.
Well, hold on, we
Adam's
don't know
apple,
that.
not the same.
Boddicker and Jones. Detroit and Delta City. ED-209 and RoboCop. But ultimately, what the movie is saying is...
Pause. Detroit and Delta City.
What does that mean? Yeah, I kind of skipped over that. What's Delta City?
Are we talking like Chicago and Gotham? Like, no fucking shit. They didn't name it Detroit. They named it Delta City.
No, I thought it was named Detroit.
Yeah, I thought it was Detroit in the movie.
But okay.
What is Delta
yeah.
City though?
I'm not entirely sure. I thought they called it Delta City, and she was basically saying like Detroit and Delta City are the same.
Hear RoboCop's name.
There's a new guy in town. His name's RoboCop.
And see
Fucking
RoboCop's
stupid.
name. So is he Murphy or is he RoboCop? Well, he's both.
Oh, Delta
There's
City
a
was the
lot of
project
doubles
to
in this film.
replace Detroit.
Murphy and
Okay, yeah, because on it says Detroit. This is what I was going back for.
See, we need little Chad to know all the stupid shit that nobody else picked up in the movie.
Lewis, Boddicker and Jones, Detroit and Delta City, ED-209 and RoboCop. But ultimately what the movie is saying is these distinctions don't exist the way we want them to. And the
What does that mean?
Dude, maybe OCP should have bought up and rebuilt Detroit. Has anyone seen it lately? It's
Right? They had to file for bankruptcy.
it might not be a bad idea.
final line in the movie,
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
Murphy.
Okay, because that is
followed
his name.
by the final
Yeah.
RoboCop title card, shoved that idea right in our face.
What
Binary
what?
choices make us feel comfy, in control, and help us organize the universe. But in reality, it's hardly ever either or. RoboCop is trapped between
Yes, but
binaries.
you dumb bitch, what you have done is basically said binary choices don't matter because yes is also no and no is also yes.
And the bad guys are also cops.
Yeah.
And the cops are also the
criminals,
bad guys.
criminals are cops. Good guys are bad guys are good guys. Dicks are vaginas, vaginas are dicks.
I love how she's complaining about all these binary choices and life is more complicated, but yet she summed everything up with these. Some are good, some are bad, some are bad, some are good.
She boiled everything down to a binary in
Yes.
her argument that not everything is binary.
Yes.
Murphy.
But he's also RoboCop. He exists in the space between human and machine, between employee of the evil corporation OCP and servant of the public good, constantly navigating his own identity. Just like you
His own identity? No, he's constantly navigating police work.
and me.
You know what we need
But
to do
seriously,
is
Lewis
we need to
is-
teach these people how fractions and rounding work. Like, sure, there are a lot of things that are a spectrum. Like, good and evil are a spectrum, right? Good is
Yeah.
on one side, evil is on the other. But guess what? Unless you somehow manage to hit that perfect 50%, we're rounding off to one or the other.
Yep.
Is a badass. I would run slow motion across a field to be wrapped up in Lewis's arms. It's rare that you get a
shocking.
well-written female identifying character in an action movie. And if
Female
this movie
identifying
proves
character,
anything,
eh?
it's that it's
She's-
not
she's
that hard
a
to
female
write.
identifying character. She is a female
She
character.
is female.
Strong ladies, and anyone who's failed should be utterly ashamed. But really, she's
Wow.
incredibly smart, capable, funny. She's like the women I see in the real world.
Pause. Anyone who's failed should be utterly ashamed. Okay, I challenge you to write a strong, independent man.
It's
I
even
ain't
easier
fucking
than
seen
that.
one of those in over a decade in movies.
It's even easier than that. You failed this video on making this video. You should be utterly ashamed. People don't always hit the mark. There should be some grace for. And I'm not saying that it all should try to live up to her expectations of what a good written female character should be. What I'm saying is just so for all of her talk about being outside the binary or is more complicated than that, she sees everything so black and white up until the point to where it directly affects something she cares about.
She was so good, she got her partner killed day one on the job.
True.
World and that I look up to. She also doesn't shed her femininity like many other 80s action heroes. For example, James Cameron's female leads, who are his personal, weird, fetishized ideal of a soldier mommy. Those
Wait,
Didn't
she's-
start that way.
characters communicate to the audience that feminine means weak.
N-
They
no.
imply that what a woman
Can we go
really
back to
needs to
that?
do
Hold on. Go back to the last little line there. imply to the audience that feminine equals weak?
Oh,
Oh, you went.
right here.
Yeah, they didn't even spell feminine right. She can't even fucking fix her own subtitles.
Is that not spelled
Well,
right?
No, it's
that
not.
says femin,
Yeah, that says femine. Femine
but
equals
that
weak.
that could be YouTube's closed
Uh,
captioning.
Yeah.
I get. Well, YouTube needs to fucking fix their shit
That
then, because that's not how you spell feminine.
Yeah, that's YouTube.
Weak. They imply that what a woman really needs to do is be more like a traditional masculine dude.
No, that's what
but
feminism has said for the
Yeah,
last 20
feminism
years.
has demanded that we make women like that, because if you let a woman show her feminine, if you let women's, I went women and I meant to be singular,
Yep.
and then I went woman's and I went plural on it. If a woman shows her femininity in a modern movie, that is sexism. That is misogyny at work.
Not Lewis. When Lewis sees RoboCop, she knows right away that something is up with him
Because he's a giant walking tin man.
because she's intelligent and doesn't need a whole sequence where we see her put the clues together. She knows her partner. She follows her gut. Lewis is all lady, all powerful.
It's almost like she's a female identifying straight person.
She delivers the final blow after her body is basically ripped apart, because that's just what a fighter would do. Speaking of her body getting ripped apart, this scene is clearly setting up Lewis to be the next RoboCop.
What? No, was it?
Don't think so.
Murphy
I
even
mean,
promises
maybe
her
this was setting up a sequel wherein she was a female RoboCop and he was a male RoboCop.
And did they had sex and had little baby RoboCops?
He put his male, USB into her female receptacle.
Yeah. Like, I bet you can fill it in your hard drive. I'm so deep.
Uploading babies.
You're trying to put the USB in upside down. Stop.
No,
I told you I don't like that.
No, that's Thunderbolt. That's the wrong hole. You're USB-C.
I told you needed to get it upgraded.
Lewis and Murphy as buddy cop cyborgs would have been amazing.
No, it would not have been.
I love Lewis. I love their
Well,
friendship.
if our
I love it all.
USBs are incompatible, turn around and we will see if you're backwards compatible.
The happy ending only exists because the corporation allows it to. Here's a weird thing to ask yourself.
What?
Who has true agency in the final climactic scene of the movie? Dick Jones is a rich guy with a big gun. That's a lot of power. RoboCop is a superhuman robot cop with a bigger gun. That's a lot
He's not a superhuman.
of power. And yet, without his hostage, Jones is powerless. And as long as Directive 4 is in play, RoboCop is powerless.
My program will not allow me to act against an officer of this company.
In this moment, the CEO of OCP is both the subject and object of power. He's the object, which is held by Jones in order to exert power, and he is the subject who is able to end the standoff simply by speaking. By the way, I had to look up what this character's name was because I didn't just want to call him the old man, but that is literally his name in the script because RoboCop is a movie that's painfully aware of the patriarchy.
Whoa. What?
Even at the
I
movie's
love
climax,
the
it's not-
amount of let's look at everything through our modern lens that these people do. I mean, it's like, this was only what, 40 years ago? 30 years ago? Yeah.
Yeah, about more than
It
30.
was made
but
before
less
she
than
was
40.
probably born, likely.
Oh,
was
it's
gonna
40
say,
years old at least.
You can tell this bitch has no idea what she's talking about, because if she was actually around when this movie was in theaters and we all watched it, she would know that 99.9% of Americans had never even heard the word patriarchy spoken in conversation.
Yeah, not in reference to what it's used for now.
Not RoboCop, with his super machine body and big boy gun, who holds the power. If the old man does not will it, it can't happen. RoboCop kills the bad guy because in that moment, it serves the old man's agenda, which is pretty terrifying.
I love how long his arms are in this. It's so great.
Yeah, they definitely look kind of weird, huh?
I'm
I'm pretty sure the old man's agenda was to not get shot. So
Yeah, he had all the power.
running this whole show.
Wait, hold on. No, hold on, though. That's not true, right? Wasn't it that dude who worked for the old man that was actually doing all of the crazy shit almost behind the old man's back?
Right, but the old man had the power because even though he was a hostage.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. It says right here, the old man been running this whole show as if he was the one that was behind all of the nefarious shit that was happening. But that's not true. It was the dude that just got blown out the window.
Right.
No, it was all part of my plan. I planned to be taken hostage by one of my subordinates who would then put a gun to my head and potentially kill me if this went wrong.
Made all the decisions that led to tons and tons.
No, he did not.
Tons of people getting killed over the past hour and 45 minutes of this narrative. The climactic
But
moment of the movie.
Are they the people we wanted to see get killed? Like, I love how they always have tons of people got killed. Okay, were they the good guys or the bad guys?
Yeah.
This is a movie. I can break it down to that binary.
It's more complicated than that. He's trans
RoboCop
or
shooting
something.
Jones. It's the old man saying,
Dick, you're fired!
but seriously, is RoboCop a trans icon?
No,
I mean, if there's
no.
one person that loves finding different ways of reading films, it's me. So, is there a reading of RoboCop as a trans icon? I think Verhoeven himself would probably say, hell yeah.
No, he wouldn't.
No.
My wife picked up that script, RoboCop, and read it. And she said, you know, yeah, this is perhaps not, it's not Shakespeare, but it is a script with more layers than you think. As I started to work with the writers, I picked up so many layers and additional elements, and I got really inspired by what was already on the paper, by extending that, emphasizing it, pushing it.
And special thanks.
Okay, hold on. Just because he said that there was many layers to it, he never said one of those layers is that trans people exist and they should. Nailed it. By the way, we did not have Valheimer on. It was just me. Mad.
To Carmela Morel for her personal and academic
Every
insight.
single writer, script writer, novelist, fucking short story writer, everything else. If you ask them about their story, they're going to tell you about all the layers in it.
Yeah.
And some of those layers are probably true. Some of them probably aren't, but somebody came up with it when they read it and said, "Did you mean to put this in there?" And any good writer will tell you, yes.
Just because Steven Seagal wrote a script that made him cry because it was the best script he ever read does not mean it was a good script, nor did it mean it was a trans
script.
Allegory.
In this section.
By the way, how much you want to bet this? Who is this? That
What was already on the paper by extending it, emphasizing it, pushing it.
And special thanks to Carmela Morel for her personal and academic.
Probably
academic.
Cameron.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
In this section. Verhoeven's cinematic grammar attempts to produce a gaze that identifies with women instead of merely objectifying women. We do see characters within the narrative objectify women, but these acts of objectification are contextualized to us, the audience, as ironic, perverse, and absurd.
And the only reason she is saying that is because it works in her favor of this movie. If it was any other movie that she couldn't paint on the trans allegory tag, it would be, look at how they treat all of these women in the movie. Am I wrong? It is only because it is useful for her political or ideology agenda that she is saying, well, in this case, I actually happen to see why they were being treated this way in the movie.
And you need lots of stimulation.
Stop. Like another read of this, potentially, right, is that morally vacuous women tend to find men who are very powerful and can offer them things attractive, and so will both debase themselves and allow themselves to be objectified by those men in order to get what they want out of the transactional relationship the two hold.
And men who are in that position, who are more likely to abuse power, are going to treat those very women poorly.
Yep.
Bobby,
Anybody else noticing Chad having an aneurysm in chat?
Yes,
What happened? I haven't looked over there once.
Highlighting all of his comments. Oh, Chad,
he's just repeating
does not
what I
like
said.
this. He does not like this woman's reading of the of RoboCop.
Is it weird that automatically made a part of me think like, well, I should defend it then?
I would love you to. You should.
I can't, but it was just something innate, just something natural. Like, oh, Chad's against it. I should be for it.
I should be for it. Someone needs to be the contrarian.
Men watch TV, and we see them laugh harder than natural, as if they're
How do you know how they laugh?
performing that enjoyment.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Right? You can't possibly understand my truth and my struggle. So stop trying to act like no dick, no choice.
This may be one of one of my favorite lines I've ever seen in any video essay. They cartoonishly perform cis-normative heterosexuality.
Cartoonishly perform cis-normative heterosexuality. The film satirizes gender roles over and over and over.
I would like her to define the words she just spoke and explain how each of those words contributes to a sentence that actually has some kind of meaning.
Can't be done. Half of it was made up.
Yeah, I guess. Means whatever I want it to mean at the time.
Come here often.
Showing a violent hierarchy where men aggressively assert their masculinity on those around them through violence and mocking laughter while holding big phallic firearms.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
big phallic firearms.
And amid this violent, comic, hyper-masculine hierarchy, we meet Murphy, a cop who begins the story desperately trying to perform cis hetero male identity.
Desperately trying to perform? What if he's just living? What if he is simply existing in the person who he is?
Yeah, and if this is all masculine stuff, how come we aren't, topping the charts with domestic violence?
Are there any boobs in RoboCop?
I don't think so.
A couple of quick scenes, but nothing major.
But earlier she was saying Lewis is, pure femininity, while Lewis is also holding one of those gigantic phallic guns.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, it was her feminine penis.
It's almost like much of what was presented in the movie was a caricature. And wasn't really anybody trying to create some sort of a symbolism. It's just a caricature of people in general. Not their masculinity or their femininity. Just them in general.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure not everything was defined as either being masculine or feminine at this point. It was just people existing in this world that was created for the screen.
Yeah, sexuality hadn't become everybody's identity at this time.
No, not sexuality, gender.
Right. But either way,
back in the day,
any of it.
Especially in the 80s and especially in cinema in the 80s, your identity was neither your sexuality nor your gender. Your identity was usually your occupation. Hence why this is a movie about a cop.
Yep, sorry. I was kicking somebody out of here.
Family that he's worthy of the titles husband and father.
And you don't want to disappoint him.
Oh, what a crime. How dare he tries to live up to the responsibilities that he has. Yeah, well, like it's trying to prove himself worthy of these roles and to be responsible. How dare he?
We see him spin his
I know
guns
this is crazy, and like a lot of people these days don't believe this, but maybe you don't want to disappoint them because you love them and you have sworn an oath to love, honor, cherish, and obey them.
That's all performative.
Which means you have to live up to those expectations, and if you do not, it's not on them, it's on you.
A couple things I guess noticed when pausing this. Do y'all remember the gold fucking statue bullshit that was in people's living rooms? I do.
Yeah.
And
the fireplace
Well,
Now,
no,
when you
that like
say
the
in
deer.
people's living rooms, you mean in movie people's living rooms? Because
No. I
people
remember
had
it.
anything like this.
No, I remember it being in like my dad's third wife's house.
Oh, all we had was the the fireplace pokers in cast iron.
Yeah.
They were not gold. They were not gold plated.
Second thing, is the TV unplugged? Because it looks like if you follow the cable, right, it goes towards that door, but then comes back around and looks
Back
unplugged.
around. It might be. It might be
No,
plugged into
because
one of those extension cords.
Yeah, I think it's plugged into another cord.
Huh.
Because at this point, they wouldn't have been able to display something on
True.
the screen without it being actually on.
Also, why is it being presented as if he's in a classroom and they just wrote it in from the AV club?
The 80s?
Yeah, I don't think anybody actually had their TV on something like that.
It doesn't even fit on there very well
A
at
roller
all. It
cart.
looks like it's gonna fall off. No,
Oh,
dude,
it
that
would.
should be a giant wooden box.
I would say the closest I've seen to something like that was, my parents had a TV like that in their room, right?
Yeah.
And it was on the corner of the dresser, and I guess like depending upon how much space my dad was allotted on the bed that night, he would need a different angle. So he put it on one of those rotating trays, so he
Oh
could
yeah.
to the left or the right.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Whose respect Murphy hopes to gain by acting like the famous tough guy action hero on TV. But this
How about maybe he whatever.
desperate attempt to claim masculinity is continually subverted by the narrative. As I mentioned earlier, there's a duality between Murphy and his
There's not.
female counterpart, Lewis, where staring into her face seems to be the
No,
key
it's just
to
that in every
reacquiring his own-
movie, every fucking TV show ever that involves cops, we, the audience, have developed an expectation a cop has a partner.
But
unless they say, I work alone,
Yeah.
a cop has a fucking partner.
No, it's worse than that. Okay, no. The key to reacquiring his own identity wasn't staring into the face of her. She was the first one to say Murphy and treat him as though he is a human and not a robot.
Yep.
Own identity. On top of that, at the end of Act 1, when Murphy gets murdered, he isn't just killed. He is savagely attacked by a
And where was she?
pack of men
By a
who
pack of
penetrate
men
his
who
body with their
penetrate
long
his
guns.
body.
In fact, if we step back and take a look at
Wait,
the
is that
structure
what she
of
really
Robo,
said?
he is savagely
Yes,
attacked
who
by a
penetrate
pack of
his
men
body
who
with their long guns.
Okay, no, not one of them penetrated him with their long guns. They penetrated him with the bullets that came from his long. So it would be more like
Every
penetrating
gun
his,
is a dick in movies, okay?
or in life.
In Die Hard, when old boy gets thrown off the top of the Nakatomi building and he shoots at him, it's not a metaphor for as he's about to die. He, as in a last act of desperation,
I'm
swings his
coming.
dick at him.
Yeah, it was like he's finished. He finished.
Yeah.
Sexually.
In some movies, guns are just guns.
Like my grandfather always said, sometimes guns are just
who
guns.
penetrate his body with their long guns. In fact, if we step back and take a look at the structure of RoboCop,
Oh, boy.
it's modeled after classic rape revenge movies like
I spit on your grave.
where the female main character is violated,
Your ass is mine.
then exacts revenge on her attackers one after another.
This woman will soon cut, chop, break, and burn 5 men beyond recognition.
In Murphy's
And
quest
I guess
to
I don't need
chase
to
an
watch that movie anymore because
external
giving away everything.
Actually, that
Deal.
looked like something we would watch with Mad.
become the
We
No, 'cause
find
it
out in the
stars a
final
woman.
scene that she had a penis.
Oh, I'm back on board.
ultimate tough guy cop. He is transformed by external forces into a cyborg, a hyper-masculine ideal, a form that the authorities have decided he should inhabit.
Well, he signed the release forms when he joined the force. He's legally dead.
So it doesn't sound like they decided. It sounded like he okayed it. He submitted to it.
Donated his body.
Well, and she's missing the undertone here, right? Like, given very little choice, a surgery was forced upon him. And at first, he felt like that surgery made him a better
Oh
cop.
God.
But then, as he started to realize things, he went, maybe this surgery wasn't the best idea.
I
And
wish
I'm
I
not
had my
happy in
penis
my
back.
new body.
Oh my God. It is a trans allegory, but not the way they think.
Listen, I'm not even saying that's the case. I'm just saying,
if
we're going to start doing off reads like that, you can take this in a lot of different directions.
Again, based on her for her analysis of it being a trans allegory, I do agree based on what she's saying. However, I think that it is a allegory for detransitioning rather than trans. Yeah,
A little bit, right?
Instead of just becoming the real man he thought he wanted to become, he becomes more than a real man. His new body is a construction of society's view of what Murphy's ideal gender representation should be. He becomes...
I can't stop reading or listening to it with... like, now I'm seeing it through the lens of it being a detransitioning allegory, and it matches up way better.
Exaggeratedly
and you notice she keeps talking about how, like, oh, he's made into the hyper masculine version of what society thinks he's supposed to be.
Right. Okay, go on.
Yes, but you forget the part where in the second half of the movie, he grows to hate the fact that he is a robot and not human.
I never should have took the puberty blockers. By the way, that isn't RoboCop, guys. That's just me again. Didn't want to confuse the audio only listeners.
Masculine, as if he's granted his wish, but as part of a devil's bargain where he didn't quite get what he expected. He's transformed.
He's saying that transitioning is a devil's bargain?
Oh man, it can't stop. By the way, do y'all remember my my RoboCop bit for the Robo Terminator movie?
Are you talking about Chopping Mall?
Was that the one where no, it was the one where I used this clip and he goes, freeze, and then I put Orientals.
Oh, robots versus vampires.
That's what it was. Robots versus vampires. Yes.
That was a good one too.
That was
into a bizarre shadow version of his desired self. In fact, he becomes comically and ironically masculine. The gun he fetishized earlier as a symbol of masculinity ends up replacing his genitals. His massive weapon is a perfect symbol of masculinity.
Two things. One, how does spinning your gun mean you're fetishizing it? When it's just showing your level of skill with the firearm. And I think it was less about demonstrating how much he loved his dick gun and more about demonstrating the fact that he was good with his gun. He was very skilled.
Yes.
He has a lot of time and practice and is an experienced police officer.
And that's what we call a setup, which is paid off later when he becomes RoboCop. And you can see there's still traces of him as Murphy because he does the spin.
Also, his gun didn't replace his genitalia.
Nope.
Clearly, this woman does not understand men, but my genitals are not on the outside of my right thigh.
Wait, what? They're not.
No,
mine either. No, of
right
course.
below the
No.
torso.
Of course, right, guys? Yeah, none of us have our genitals attached to our thighs, right? That'd be weird.
In a society that respects hyperviolence. As a super masculine machine, he's even got a second phallus. The computer.
Everything is not a.
That's not a phallus.
Not every Audi is a penis, and not every innie is a vagina.
All right, do Assassin's Creed next, you bitch.
Computer jack that protrudes from his knuckles, and yet neither of these phalluses function sexually.
No shit.
They aren't just non-sexual, but violent instead of sexual.
It's almost as though it wasn't a phallus at all, being as it didn't function sexually. It's almost as though it was a piece of metal that closely resembled an antenna, which is something we used a lot of back then, that he would then insert into a computer to transmit data.
You mean his compenis? Compenis? Hey, Em, can you read this for me?
Read what?
what's on the screen?
Read the
RoboCop's lack of
subtitles.
conventional genitals is even emphasized and played as a gag.
I just wanted you to say conventional genitals. What are non-conventional genitals?
They're the ones that are on the outside of your thigh.
You mean the totally normal, everybody has ones?
Yeah. Or if you've got like goat genitals, those would be considered unconventional.
Lack
Or,
of
yeah, we got to hide them inside of your own sack.
We're going to open up your testicle. We're going to tuck a goat testicle in there. Then we're going to seal the goat testicle inside your testicle. We're not going to wire it up or anything, but you're going to have some big balls.
Okay, in his defense, Dr. Brinkley did later on start hooking shit up.
Supposedly.
genitals is even emphasized and played as a gag.
How is that a
what
gag?
was played as a gag was the dude kicked essentially an iron codpiece.
Yeah, in what world did he think that was going to hurt him?
Murphy's flashbacks also problematize the masculinity he
Problematize the masculinity.
hopes to achieve. These flashbacks show Murphy struggling with his new hyper-masculine identity, culminating in a visual metaphor where he passes through a female body.
That's not what that was. It was just a transition. No, but it wasn't him passing through a female body. It was the movie transitioning from a flashback into what he is seeing now.
Well, and even from the flashback perspective, though, it was him looking into the eyes of the woman he loves and remembering that moment, probably where he leaned in to kiss her, which is why he wasn't passing through her.
Of the film, Murphy's goal changes from the desire to become this hyper-masculine figure that his son and society wants him to be, to answering the question, who am I? In the next beat,
what am I? Why am I?
On RoboCop's journey of self-discovery, we see a world-class husband mug on the counter, but it's shattered, as if someone has violently rejected that title.
No.
Or as if the husband was shattered. Literally,
Yes.
not figuratively.
Yes.
Shattered.
Yes.
And we never see who shattered it. And then
it doesn't.
We see this photograph from Halloween. Murphy's son is in costume, but the parents are not. Or are they?
Because they're grown. Oh, fuck off, bitch. They're not in costumes because they're grown folk.
I mean,
Murphy's.
I've worn costumes plenty of times.
Right, but I guarantee what's happening is this kid who's old enough to go hang out with friends and it was the 80s, so nobody was like, oh, no, I got to be like right on top of you as you go house to house. He was going out with his friends while they stayed at home and handed out candy. It's not that hard.
Yeah, and
also, we don't even know if this is Halloween. Maybe he's just a shit kid who thinks he's the devil, like Problem Child. Remember that movie?
Well, and some adults go a little harder than others in Halloween. Like,
yeah,
we sometimes do the entire haunted house thing, and we get into the scary costumes. And the goal is to see how many kids are afraid to come up and take candy out of the bowl.
Oh, nice. By the way, the scariest thing is whatever the fuck that is behind him.
With its head turned and the big nose.
Yes, and the
it's
big
got
chin.
a big chin and a big nose. Yeah.
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 Performing the role of cis male hetero husband. That is his costume. And floating over his shoulder, a witch, a grotesque female form haunting him. Only after we see this Polaroid
often
do we
seen
see
as
the
part of Halloween decorations.
Flashback for the first time.
Almost as if the picture was what triggered this memory. You cunt.
All right,
Murphy's
we
wife
got
appears to-
70s in here now.
I only just got here and Mads called me a bitch and a cunt already.
Well, that's because you're not feeling very good. He's not
I'm
talking
not,
to
I
you.
feel like shit,
He's
but this
talking,
is too funny.
He's
This
talking to
stuff's-
the ailment inside of you.
This stuff is too good to miss. So
Oh, you've been watching?
I have been watching this. It's great.
Carve a pumpkin. Except she's not carving it. She's tinkering with it, holding the carving tool like a screwdriver, as if she's constructing something.
What? No, she's just. Oh my God, she's just working on the eyes, just trying to get all the little wiry parts of the little strings. She's just cleaning it.
It's almost like a metaphor that she thought to herself, you know, maybe my husband could use some robotic enhancements.
Constructing
That carving
an
tool is pretty
identity.
phallic.
Yeah, it's almost like she's like the pumpkin is a metaphor for her husband, and the carving tool is a metaphor for her lady dick stabbing him in the eye repeatedly.
Yeah.
No, penetrating him.
Yes, penetrating him with her lady dick.
With her lady dick.
Out of a pumpkin. This foreshadows the way that RoboCop tinkers with his own head.
It does not. You are putting that together yourself. It is a very common thing on Halloween to carve a pumpkin. So if they're flashing back to a Halloween thing memory, it makes sense that there would be a pumpkin.
It's not common to do it with a lady dick, though.
Here's the thing. I could see it being a fun dichotomy where they kind of were foreshadowing here. But it's foreshadowing in that the two activities look similar. There's nothing beyond that.
And her credibility is in such shatters by this point. There's no way I will give her the benefit of the doubt that this is even possible.
At the beginning
the
of Act
logical
3.
leaps she has made in this video are
Bananas from minute one.
Drilling into his own mind and coming to terms with the loss of his past married life. He's constructing his identity. In flashbacks, we see
He's trying to and you've said this yourself, bitch. He is trying to rediscover or
He's trying to remember
his identity, not build it.
that Murphy's wife is clearly
she
upset.
keeps saying like, "Oh, this is him transing up and building his new identity." Except the subtext of this whole story is they stole my identity, and now I must fight to get it back.
And once he realizes that he'll never be able to gain who he was specifically, now it's time for him to forge them. But a huge part of that is what he does have left from both his human life and his robot life. So it's almost as if they cut off his dick, and then he realized I shouldn't have let him cut off my dick. Now I got to try to live dickless, but try to get, you know what I mean, be true to who I was.
Do we know for a fact they did cut off his dick?
Yes.
About
We do, okay,
something.
right.
Yeah.
I really have to tell you something.
Something was wrong with their marriage.
No, it wasn't. She was fucking with him. Because right after this, doesn't she go, I love
Sometimes.
you?
It's fairly vague in the film, but with the themes of gender and identity so clear elsewhere, it's a fair reading to suggest
No.
that maybe this fight
No,
was
not
because
even a little
of Murphy
bit.
exploring their gender or identity.
What?
Maybe he
Whoa.
Stretch that one a bit further.
Of gender and identity being so clear in the rest of the movie to no one but you, maybe it's not a crazy read to think that she was mad at him because he was pretending, he was wearing her underwear.
But in that scene, though, if I'm not mistaken, Chad, help me out in the chat. She's like, we have something we have to talk about, and then she's like, I love you. Like she was bullshit. It was a bit. Am I wrong about that? It wasn't a fight.
I don't
was it?
remember. You've seen it more recently.
Yeah, every single reading of every single part of this movie has been so off base, and I have not watched this movie in probably 30 years.
They
I
cut off
agree,
his
though.
everything.
No, I agree. He was exploring her gender identity with his male penis.
No,
He's like, yeah, you're definitely a woman.
You're definitely a woman.
I mean, I'm not done verifying. Just don't go anywhere. This is probably going to take a while.
I am almost
retest later.
I am almost certain that scene right after she says that, she starts saying "I love you," and then they have sex. So,
but with each
And then he
other?
penetrates her with his long gun.
so the whole everything that she said after that is poisonous fruit because it wasn't a
being
real fight.
the man she wanted him to be. Before Murphy's death, Boddicker shouts at him,
Where's your partner? Where's your partner?
this can have
Yeah, because
two
he wants
meanings.
to know
has
where
one
his
meaning.
partner is.
It has one meaning.
One, of course, being
And
his
it's
cop
almost
partner.
like the benefit of his hyper masculine fucking misogynist thought process was he went even harder to protect his partner, up to and including letting himself be killed before he let her be captured.
Yep.
And we didn't really use partner that way back then. He would have said, "Where's your wife?" if he wanted to know about his
Well, no, I don't
wife.
think that's what she's getting at.
Lewis, but the other is his romantic
maybe you're
partner.
right. Why would he ask? In
Why
what
would he give a
world?
shit?
No, she reads
In what world
everything like
exactly?
the language of today is exactly the same as the
But
language.
no, even
fucking 30
even
years
if that's true, why would he be like, "Hey, where's your wife
Why would
at?"
he give a crap?
He's worried about because I don't know if y'all noticed this, but he doesn't
He's
seem
worried
like
about the partner because he knows that all cops have partners.
Well, I don't know if you're aware of this, but he doesn't seem like a dude that is a long-term planner. He's more of a in the moment type of guy. So his thought process would be, my partner, where is the other cop that's around here who could cause this trouble in the now? Not, hey, since you're about to make her a widow, can I get those digits?
Almost as though experienced criminals know that most cops will not come in by themselves.
He is no longer there. And later, when Murphy is on the operating table, we see an image of his wife waving goodbye.
As
and
he
this
goes to
can
work, yeah.
also have two meanings.
It does no.
One
right.
being that
meaning
Murphy
one is that
dying.
he's dying, and the other meaning is that his life as a man is
His masculinity is dying.
or a new way of being.
No, his masculinity is dying. I'm going with
And
that.
she is saying goodbye, except this is a memory. So it's already happened in the past.
That's how memories
Maybe
work.
this is his wife saying goodbye to him as their marriage is ending.
What?
Because Murphy has failed at
There's
living up to
nothing that suggests that at all.
No, not a thing.
Because Murphy has failed at living up to her hetero male ideals for him.
In fact, when
Her
he starts to
hetero male
remember
ideals-
that he's Murphy, he says Murphy had a wife and kids, which would mean she was still in the marriage with him.
Right, but she wasn't.
I'm going to make sure that
she was only
if for
acting.
whatever reason, if for whatever reason Bride passes away before me, at the funeral, I'm going to read in the obituary that I'm going to wave goodbye to her because as a corpse, she has failed to live up to my hetero female ideals for her.
That's not bad. I may shoplift that from my own funeral over here.
for him, just as he failed to do so for their son earlier in the film.
What?
When the flashback of Murphy's wife is repeated at the midpoint, it's also clearly a different version of the memory, a different take.
Yeah, that's so that
she
the movie isn't
conspicuously
boring.
moves her arms in a way that's totally different from the other take, and her tone is softer.
I really have to tell you something.
Is this memory corrupted?
That's
Or
kinda
is
how memories
Murphy
work.
rewriting his memory as a version where his wife accepts him for who he is? Then, after
What?
cutting back to RoboCop's visor in a series of shots that recalls
Where do you find this shit, Mad?
You're welcome.
the scene where Lewis confronted RoboCop about his true identity, we see a memory we haven't seen before. I love you. And unlike the Halloween memory,
This
which
is the
is
thing,
prompted-
right? This is the thing. She has not figured this out yet, but she has self-inserted into RoboCop.
Yeah.
Or is he rewriting his memory to a version where she accepts me for who I am?
By
I
a
mean,
photograph.
RoboCop for who he is.
Yeah. Almost like the way she wishes her family would accept her for.
This memory is new to us.
And now she wants to just be held
unprompted
by
sensory
Lewis.
Input. This
I'm
female
sorry
face
that girl
fills
you
the
like
frame.
isn't gay, but rewriting RoboCop ain't gonna get you any closer to that punani.
This female face fills the frame, mirroring RoboCop's face.
Mirroring RoboCop's face.
Yes, this is
She
called a
says,
first-person perspective.
softly and sweetly, which is a pretty odd thing for a character to say in a Paul Verhoeven.
What? Wait, hold on.
Jeez.
It's weird for a wife to say "I love you."
Yeah, but
I
that's
mean-
weird for a Paul Verhoeven movie.
I don't know. Let's test with the people who are in a relationship in the room, right? Brahma, how many times do you
Nope.
and your wife say "I
Okay.
love you" in a day?
I listen. I would love to go through
We've
this
been married
exercise,
too long.
but it's a straw man. It's a straw man because that's not what she's claiming. She's not claiming that women wouldn't say "I love you" to their husbands. She's saying that it's weird for it.
It's weird for
specifically,
his movies.
yeah, for a Paul Verhoeven, and that is the only time I'm going to fucking defend this shit.
But I mean, if you're writing a husband and wife, why wouldn't they say I love you?
Not Paul Verhoeven. It's not as if though he gets talked about his wife reading the script with him or anything. He wouldn't
There's
even
not a
know
lot of
where to
movies
begin.
where he has married couples.
That's my point. Like, a married couple saying I love you is not out of pocket. But if in most movies there aren't married couples, you might not hear I love you as much. Who'd have fucking thought?
It would be
Actually,
like this.
He did Total Recall, and I'm pretty sure
Yeah, there was a married
says I
couple.
love you a few times.
Considered this a
When she's
Yeah, but
still
she didn't-
pretending to be the wife.
She didn't. Yeah, but she wasn't being real. Just like here.
Yeah, but nothing's supposed to be real in Total Recall. That's the whole point. Is you can't figure out
But-
if it's a dream or not.
Here,
It's like before Inception, there was Total Recall.
This justification for this whole thing is the same as if I said, well, you know, Neil Breen, having a knock knock joke in a Neil Breen movie is odd based on his other movies. Well, yeah, because he's doing a comedy. That's why he added a knock knock joke, because he doesn't know comedy. Just because he has never had a knock knock joke before doesn't mean it means something else. It's because he is trying to do a comedy, and in this comedy, he's like, what's a good joke? Knock knock. You get what I'm saying?
It's not out of the realm of possibility for him to use a line like this.
This is a woman who would watch the latest Neil Breen movie and be like, it's very odd for him. He's never had himself fighting a tiger that turns into a woman before.
Yes.
So clearly that means something incredibly deep and special.
Yeah, but
It's
did
like,
you say I love you?
No, but see,
it's just what Neil Breen came up with in his latest fucking cocaine bit.
Fever dream.
It's a trans allegory because the tiger represents his masculinity, his toxic masculinity, when his true self fights it out of him and becomes a beautiful woman.
No. I think what it actually is, right, is it is his trans self that is the tiger, because it's a giant pussy and he's fighting with the giant pussy. But then when guests come, he goes, giant pussy, people are going to see that you're my giant pussy. Turn into a separate element. Turn into your own person so that I can hide you away and not show that you're a part of me in front of all these guests.
Oh shit, that's right, huh?
Melodramatic,
You opened my
satirical,
eyes.
and cynical. If, as the series of shots suggest, she is Murphy's mirror, then symbolically,
This whole
I thought
mirror
Lewis
thing,
was Murphy's mirror. I mean, what the
this
hell?
whole mirror thing you made up. Stop
This
referring
woman
to
has
it.
clearly never played video games and does not understand what first-person POV is.
If RoboCop
the
looks
same.
at you, he takes on all of your traits.
to himself, perhaps accepting the female identity he's been desperately resisting up until this point in the narrative.
Or
Because-
maybe his wife is saying "I love you" to him. Perhaps accepting the male masculinity that he's showing as a man.
Here's what she would need. All right, let's say that the conceit is that he has been fighting his female identity, or like his longing, his lust to be a female, right? If you would have shown RoboCop in a lady's footlocker trying on pink tennis shoes, or maybe, you know, some stilettos, or secretly while no one's looking trying to put lipstick on, you got me. You know what I mean? I'm on your side. But there's nothing.
No. There
Back
are
to
all these extremely vague obscurities that can be clearly read in a very simple way, that she's like, yeah, but let's read it nothing like that and make the most blind leaps of logic, fucking bullshit.
If when he saved that woman, he would have been like, ma'am, I must ask, where did you get that top? It's adorable.
Is that a Louis Vuitton handbag? I've always wanted one.
RoboCop, this masculine robot, now shrouded in darkness. The next time we cut back to the wife, we, as Murphy, enter her mind and pass through her body.
No, that's not what that is.
Again, it
His
was a
female
fade out
face
as he
or
was
his head
leaning in
or
for
mind.
a kiss. Because
Yes.
I don't know if you know this, but if she had actually kissed the lens of the camera, it'd really fuck up the shot.
Is a passageway into something else, into an empty home, a blank slate, or
He was already in there having the memory. The memory ended. He's back in the house.
a new beginning.
Well,
Then, as
and pause,
RoboCop continues,
and pause, it's an empty home because he lost his family, and
the family couldn't afford the house.
Yeah, and so they moved out. So the empty home is not a metaphor for anything trans. It's a metaphor for the fact that he feels empty inside now because he has literally lost everything.
It's not. I don't even know if it's that far. I think it's literally an empty house because his family doesn't live there anymore.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, at the most you can read that as
right at most,
yeah, a metaphor for the emptiness he feels now that he lost his family.
Yes,
not the emptiness he feels because he doesn't have lady parts.
You would think that if her reading is true, he would be like, I'm so excited. Because now he's not tied down by a woman and a child. He can go be him true self, her true self,
A
with
man's
his hip
face
dick.
on a computer.
Yep, with his hip
screen
dick.
asks,
Hey, have you thought it all over?
have you interrogated your own identity? After
Wait,
passing
is that what he said? Or are you translating him saying, have you thought it over? As in, do you want to buy this house? Into him thinking, have you, what does he say?
asks,
Hey, have you thought it all over?
have you interrogated your own identity?
That's not what he said.
Oh,
He's
no.
there to sell the house.
After passing through the compassionate female face, RoboCop smashes this computerized, mechanized masculine face.
No,
Symbolism.
Pause.
You,
It
wow.
was not a computerized, mechanized, masculine face. It was a computerized salesman.
Yeah. No, not even that. It was just a TV.
Well, and
Yeah.
the guy in the screen was not supposed to look masculine. He was supposed to look like a shady used car dealer type.
Or a real estate agent.
Yeah, a guy who didn't give a shit whether this home was a good match for you. He just wanted to sell the fucking house.
By the way, fuck off with your condescending symbolism, ya bigots.
So is RoboCop simply the story of a cop whose body is destroyed and then rebuilt as a machine?
No.
Yes.
Or is
No, it's more than that. There's more layers to it than just that.
Right, but it's
the
exploring
dichotomy
that, and it's not it's not trans. I'm sorry, it's not fucking.
That's what I'm saying. The reason I said no is because it's not that it is that on the most basic of levels. However, it's not an either or. It's not a binary. It's not either a simple story of a cop that get torn in half and became a robot or trans allegory. There's some room to work there in the middle. There's some wiggle room.
it the story of a person whose marriage was
Pause.
already falling apart?
There is probably a stronger argument to be made that this is a metaphor for what people in service, especially police, military, etc., like when you join. I mean, you sign a blank check to the government up to and including your life as the payment, right? And so this is kind of taking that deeper look into, okay, what if you lost everything from it, but you were still alive? How does that affect you down the road,
Yeah.
Because this dude lost his body, he lost his wife, he lost his kid, he lost his home.
Right. So it wasn't
He
all
lost
bad. He got rid of the
fucking
wife and kid. So there were
mean-
some positive things to it.
But like,
And the mortgage.
I don't know.
No
None of this
bills.
goes into
No cutting
the.
lawn.
There are so many logical leaps to get to this being anything like trans. Anything like trans. I swear to
Well, let's see what she says in the end. Cause we almost hit that
person
2 hour
whose
mark.
son
You're
has
welcome.
already
Is she gonna
questioned
finish
their
strong now?
masculinity. A person who attempts to become the epitome of masculinity and ends up embracing femininity. A person who navigates their own identity while society and corporate America violently force a hyper masculine ideal on him. A person who, after being forced into a constructed metal body, rejects the product name and programming that's been forced on them. A person who repeatedly identifies with women.
What?
To wrap things up, Carmilla Morel writes, cinema is very good at expressing universal ideas, which gender is not.
What?
Since one's
No, it
own
is.
gender is so
Gender
internal,
has been a
personal,
universal
dynamic,
idea.
and not often
forever. It only stopped
Millennia.
being a universal idea maybe a couple of years ago.
Remember, this is the one that we thought might be Cameron Morel, not Carmilla.
Entirely understandable or consistent. Where transgender viewers often feel the most seen is in body horror and sci-fi films about robots and aliens. Transness on film isn't lingering genital shots and staring sadly at one's own nude reflection. It's processes. It's the horror and abjectness of wrong body and the turmoil and excitement of transformation. It's the physical, mental, and emotional complexities and contradictions that can be plumbed much more effectively by both filmmakers and audience with symbolic and allegorical means instead of literal ones. And honestly, I wouldn't be so adamant about this reading if I hadn't just watched Verhoeven's Basic Instinct, which is the story of a woman who literally needs to hide her phallic object to avoid persecution because society doesn't approve of her personal relationships.
What? Has she ever seen a movie and not came away with? Oh.
No, because that's what they do. Everything is about this. Everything.
When did Donkey Kong say trans rights?
Trans rights. Okay. Why not add RoboCop to the mix? Thanks for watching, and a big thank.
Wow, that was better than I could have ever imagined.
Wait, let's see the picture of this person.
Of who?
Well, in the lower right. I mean, she's on there now, but
Maggie Mayfish is her name.
Yeah.
So that video reminded me of something.
Now save your breath and cool your parts. Hey, look, she wants a heck of 2 roof lights, the stylish house frame furniture, and the scar cushions with matching shark cover. Yeah, right. It's just terrible parcel to the Periwinkle Blue bags.
That whole thing was a trans allegory. Never knew it before.
Periwinkle Blue. This video is 5 years old.
Yeah.
Much like the person that made it. Mentally.
All right. Well, Mad, you've done it. We got to talk about half of the topics I wanted to talk about. We never really got into the gaming stuff, but that's probably good because I think I'm working on kind of an omnibus package that I want to share, but there wasn't a lot of news this week.
We'll have to put it through reconciliation.
Yeah. Other than Monster Hunter Wilds went live last night, and it's fucking good.
I think Windows is fucking with your audio because I didn't hear the end of that. Also, I heard there's a lot of issues with it on the PC. Performance-wise.
There are. If I haven't had performance issues, it definitely was not liking my drivers until I updated them, and then I haven't had problems. So once you get it started, Monster Hunter Wilds, Eric, very good game. But yeah, performance issues, I haven't had too many. And I'm running a 5700, so
that's not what Bride says. Bride says you have performance issues all the time.
Anyway, what was I saying?
That you were saying you had performance issues, Slender.
I never have performance issues. I always perform. Yeah, frame rates and stuff, Davina. I haven't seen any. While I was trying to get it to work, I had everything in low settings, and that kind of looks crappy. But I've dialed it up to medium, and it looks as good as Monster Hunter World.
Me and Chad have 3060s, and I don't think it'd be an issue for ours.
Yeah, I have a Radeon 5700. Like, that's on the low end of
Slender's computer is older than me and Chad's.
Yeah.
So if he can run it, 3060 should be fine.
My son can't run it, which sucks for him. I was like, ooh, guess it's time for you to go find a job so you can buy a new graphics card. I gave him some shit, but hopefully this helps him get motivated. All right. Well, I think it's about time to wrap up. Anybody have anything coming up this week? Mad, what you got?
I guess Tuesday night, 8:30 p. Central. We're going to be talking about communicating with ghosts. The girlfriend will be on there to talk about her crazy story that she is already changing. That's it.
I thought she hadn't told the full story yet.
She hasn't, but like the one part I remember it. Well, the one part she told me that I said stop right there. Now she's like, wait, I didn't say that.
Well, we'll see what happens, and
It's
if
the
we have
waterbed
to,
all over again.
if we have to, Matt, we'll punch it up live on the show.
Yeah.
Imp, you got anything?
Just Matt's channel Tuesday, 70s on Monday, and this again on Friday, and whenever we game during the week.
Hopefully Thursday. I'm gonna try and at least consistently put something out every Thursday, and then whenever we feel like beyond that. Brahma?
We've got Bourbon and Borden tomorrow night, and the Bullpen Sunday morning, which you and Mad will be co-hosting again. So,
yeah.
Are we gonna talk about what happened today?
Yeah.
What happened today?
Trump kicked Zelensky out of the White House. Basically told him. Basically told him
most of the day.
when you get serious about actually looking for peace instead of looking for us to fight your war, then you can come back and talk to me.
Yeah.
Some say.
And Zelensky's ambassador, there was a camera on her, and she had her hand on her face, and just looked so like, what the fuck are you doing, Zelensky? Because he was talking over the president and arguing with everyone in the room. It was bad. It was really bad.
He argued with JD Vance.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Have you ever actually said thank you ever?
Dude, I will say that was probably the weakest argument Vance has ever brought forward. I was like, who fucking cares, dude? Vance, usually I'm in your corner, but like I don't need a fucking thank you.
So
I need you to shut up and listen to the facts, and that's what Vance should have said.
That's crazy because I went to sleep probably around right before noon or something, and then I woke up at 6:30, got up, ate, watched the first episode of House of David on Amazon. It was pretty good, and then came right on here. So I had no clue that happened. I know what I'm doing after the show.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude. And this shit fired off on national television. It was supposed to be a press conference where they signed the agreement for the minerals and stuff, and it turned
no
into
spoilers,
a
no
fucking
spoilers.
shouting. Yeah, okay, I won't tell
spoilers.
you anything else. We'll let you stay. Okay, so we're talking about that.
God, that was I did one of the gayest things I've ever done. I'm waving my hand like saying no spoilers.
All right, 70s.
Yeah, as Brahma said, Bourbon and Boarding tomorrow, and then my regular live stream Monday afternoon, and we're going to be talking some Van Halen on Monday.
Van Halen.
I've been waiting like 4 years for you to have a topic that I can I can contribute to for like 4 years now, and you have yet to have anything.
Well,
Why
just
do you
give
hate
me?
me?
A suggestion. I do need you.
Something
I always want you
cool?
on the show. Well, what would that
Dude,
be?
if you ever talk about Bon Jovi,
Okay,
I'm in.
so Brokeback Mountain, you're saying. Brokeback
Oh
Mountain.
boy. I mean, Avi, I would come, but still,
I would say either that or
just like
Hurt
I did
Locker.
just like I did the first time I saw it. Go on.
Ooh, Hurt Locker. You guys should do Hurt Locker, and Mad would be there. In a
I
heartbeat. That's his
would know.
Favorite movie.
I've resisted
I would
doing that
unsubscribe.
just to. I don't want to upset Mad too much.
Yeah, I would unsubscribe.
Wait, you're subscribed to 70s?
No. No, I am. I am.
I'm pretty sure. Hopefully, he is.
I am, dude.
But have you rang the bell?
I'd love you to come on to one of my shows. I really would.
I'll
I feel so
make it a point.
lonely. I feel so lonely. I could cry.
I get it. You've been stuck with imps for so long.
Yeah, that's not unlike talking to a brick wall. We asked him to tell us a story earlier, a story that he brought up, mind you, and then he wouldn't even tell us. the
No,
story.
I
He's like,
answered your
yeah.
fucking question.
Go read a
is what I
book,
did.
bitches.
Not only did he not tell us what book we could find, the story that we wanted him to tell, he's just like, go read any book.
Yeah.
As if it would just be in there.
And then he called us motherfuckers, and
Yep.
he spit.
Yeah.
A Mad Cavelli production. The stream's now behind, but there's no need to be glum. We'll return with more jests, with humor to come. So click that damn subscribe and let the good vibes thrive. For the next grand stream, we'll surely jive.
Ascend and I, we've charted the street.
with synapses sparking, hilarity you can't believe. You've brought your joy, so now you must go. But keep the party in your heart, yo. Keep the giggles, keep the banter, keep the screens to light. Until our next stream, keep the fun in sight. In this virtual voyage where streams do end, remember with ascendant art, we'll always fucking ascend. Oops, we forgot about Imp, he's bound to reappear. With chaos in his wake, all we can do is persevere. Are you happy now, Imp?